Right. A little bit of live action while we set the tripod up. Here we go. Got some coffee. Where's the... Here it is. Tablet. Coffee's been steeping for like 10 minutes because I pressed the go button way too soon. And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday, November 11th, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I've really gotten used to this dark roast. If you go back, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago? First time I had it, I thought it tasted like soap. And maybe it did. Maybe there was soap in the cup, but I'm good with it now. It's good stuff. All right. Cool. So today's Veterans Day, and that's going to become relevant as we get into some of our questions here. Now, I hope you had a good weekend. So let's talk about my weekend, because that's what we do. Talk about my weekend. First weekend in a while where I woke up both days with no alarm. Oh, it was amazing. I can't remember the last time that happened. It was phenomenal. I don't know if that's a big deal in your world, to not wake up to an alarm on the weekends, but for me it is. I'm often traveling where there's something going on. You know, weekends it's usually something I want to do. But that doesn't change the fact that setting an alarm for it is still something I don't want to do. If I was to not have to wake up to an alarm ever, I think that would be my definition of rich. I don't know. We'll see. So what did I do when I woke up? Went to the gym, did a lot of cleaning around the house, did a bunch of errands. Yesterday I attended a memorial service for a friend who had passed away a couple months ago. Not a good friend. I didn't know him well. You know, I fully admit that. But he left a mark. And I just wanted to be around other people who understood that mark. And I was surprised at some of the people there that I knew. You know, I knew this gentleman in several different ways. It's Vermont, right? So it's easy to know people, even if you don't know them. You know of people. And I knew of this person for years before we'd ever met. And we had a number of different intersections, personally and professionally, and that meant a lot of intersections on friends, mutual friends. So it was great hearing the stories that other people told. And I realized how much he and I had in common, even far beyond what I knew. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about that now because I don't want to cry into my coffee. But it's Monday, and so what's going on today? Bunch of work. We'll be placing a number of orders for new product over the next week due to some changes in the financial situation, which is great. Stacy says, tears going beers. Too early for beer. Yeah. Yeah, so today will be a lot of really nerdy financial modeling on how to spend this money and figuring some things out. And we'll go from there. So, what else? Cat gets acupuncture today. Probably go to the gym. Yeah. It's currently a fairly open week. We'll see what happens. I did a bunch of work yesterday. Not a lot. I did maybe 60 to 90 minutes of work, just some little stuff to start the week off right. And I think I've said this before. Working for like 1 or 2 hours on a Sunday, it doesn't feel like much, but it changes my Monday. So I dig it. I really do. What else about today? There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Most of it melted yesterday. It was nice out. Next weekend's supposed to be nice. Oh, I'll throw this out because I haven't been talking about this much. Next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, 5-6 days from now, is Whistlekick's free training day in Woodstock, Vermont, Woodstock Union High School. And the schedule is set, and the instructor roster is set, and you can get your shirt at whistlekick.com. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's going to be a great event. This is year 4. It has slowly grown every year. I think the first year we had 40 people, and then it was 50 people. Last year it was 60 people. Who knows what happens this year? We could have 20 people. We could have 200. I invite everybody I can imagine on Facebook and just kind of let it go from there. So we'll have a bunch of local people, some not so local people. I know Stacy's going to be there. Yeah, so if you're anywhere around Central Vermont, you should come. We've had people come as far as New Jersey. The first year, Sensei Jared Wilson drove up from Tennessee, made it part of a vacation. Granted, we had it earlier in the year. But I think it was in July then? I don't remember. I don't remember the details of that first year. But it's a great time, great event, a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it. All right, I got some questions down here, and if you want to ask a question, you drop it below, and I answer it. That's how that goes. Today's Veterans Day, so don't forget that in your day-to-day, and I will throw this out now and remind you later, your homework is to thank a veteran. And I don't mean post something on social media. I mean, consider the people you know who served and call them or text them. Something just for them, not something generic. I think it's really hard for those of us who have not served, especially those of us who have not served in combat, to understand what it's like. I don't pretend to know what it's like, but I've had some very real conversations with people who have. And I think that gives me a little bit of understanding, a smidge. Ugh. I think so often we confuse support for the person with support for the cause. You don't have to support the cause to support the person. There are plenty of people who live a life that I don't think is the best choice, but I still support them. I still love them. You can too. With regards to Veterans Day, it has been said, we may not know them all, but we owe them all. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah. With an effort to remain apolitical as I say this, which isn't always easy when you talk about military stuff. The military is woven through our society, through our culture. It's something that we value. It's a huge part of our economy. It's a large part of our culture. And I haven't lived in other countries, so I can't say if it's like that there. But my suspicion is that it's different. I grew up, you know, wearing camouflage and playing in the woods with toy guns. And I think a lot of us did. And I think that only happens when you recognize on a deep level that these people who are called to serve in this way, I think we're all called to serve in some way, but people who are called to serve in the military, there's something special there. There's something special about following a career path that you know has a much greater likelihood of difficulty or even losing your life. Gabe says, all gave some gave all. That's what you said, right? Yeah. Yeah. Quite real. I hope we are past the point in our society that we're going to see major scale deployments and a forced service and such. I think with technology and where things are at, I fingers crossed that we're past that. And to me, that makes people volunteering for this line of work that much more impressive and powerful. Next question. Have you read The Art of War by Sun Tzu? No. Not for any good reason. It's something that's been in my Audible cart for years. And I think I'm shifting back into an audiobook kick. I tend to cycle between music, podcasts, and audiobooks, which is the primary thing I'm listening to. And right now, I'm getting kind of sick of podcasts, and definitely getting sick of music, which is really strange. I don't mean that I don't ever listen to music. I just mean that when I'm in the car. So there's an audiobook I'm working on now, and when I'm done, I'm thinking I'm going to pick up another one. In fact, I have several that I've already paid for that I haven't listened to. It's the digital equivalent of having a stack of books by your bed that you're ready to read. And so maybe that's how I'll get through The Art of War. It's often quoted. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. What should martial arts instructors keep in mind when teaching veterans as opposed to, say, an adolescent age student? Well, first off, I want to shout out Master Scott Lombardo, who is a karate practitioner and school owner on the coast of New Hampshire. He runs a program called VMAT, Veterans Martial Arts Training. And I think it's vmat.org. You should be able to find it. He's been on the show. Great guy. In fact, he taught at training day first year? I think it was the first year, maybe the second year. He runs a nonprofit that teaches martial arts to veterans, some of whom have physical limitations due to limb loss or other physical challenges, PTSD, and it's a wonderful program. And I know he's not the only one that runs programs like this, but his is the one I'm most familiar with. And he and I have had some conversations. I've not had the opportunity to teach veterans that had special requirements, put it that way. I've taught veterans. When I had my school, I had a couple people who had served. But I wasn't able to work with anyone who needed more, we'll say. if you're talking about working with someone, veteran or not, that requires more, that has some challenges, I think we can lump those challenges into either physical or non-physical challenges. I think the physical challenges are easier to handle because they're front and center and you can't forget about them. You can't forget that a person with, 1 foot is going to kick differently. A person who has a prosthetic is going to move differently than someone else. And I would say of all the physical hobbies and pursuits out there, martial artists, we're really good at working with people who have challenges physically. But we're not always good on the mental and emotional stuff. Someone comes back and they have PTSD or their views or experiences with violence are dramatically different than a civilian's. It can be hard to work with them. And my advice for that is pretty much the same as working with a challenging child, someone who has different needs in the non-physical department. It's work with them one-on-one if you can, to build a foundation, to build a base of understanding and of trust. And that understanding is mutual. You understand their needs, they understand what you offer, and they understand what you're teaching. And then hopefully you can integrate them into a full class, but that could take a long time, and that's okay. And I think if the goal is to integrate someone into a full class and one-on-one work is needed for an extended period of time, I think it's appropriate to reduce that cost. It doesn't have to be a major reduction, but just to reduce it a little bit to show that you're committed to them and hopefully get them there. One of the things I've been thinking about of late is that in a martial arts class, we tend to focus a lot on standardization. A lot of schools are really big on everybody's got to wear the same brand of uniform, the same gear, and when we do forms, we attempt to do forms with the exact same timing. It can be easy to lose yourself in that. And, where does that come from? It comes from the military. Military discipline and rank and all of that is something that's really core to the way martial arts is presented today. And I'm not judging that. But the more diversity we have of the people involved in that group, the more diverse experiences and understandings of the world, the better off we all are. And I'm fortunate enough that I was brought up that way in martial arts. And our event on Saturday is about that. It's about getting different people together with different experiences to share those experiences. So to say it another way, if you don't have veterans in your classes, maybe you can reach out and find some. Maybe you can quietly offer a scholarship to a few of them. Remember, the more people in your class, the more people will stay in your class. People want to be part of something that's successful and big. So if you can check a couple boxes, bring in a few veterans and not charge them, that's pretty cool. No reason you shouldn't. So a reminder, your homework. Thank a veteran. And that's a special request from Frank. And yeah, fully agree. I refuse to let politics play into something like today. I'd rather see it be mattress and car sales than political. We've had a lot of people on the show who have served. Oh, and by the way, today's episode is with Master Colin Wee, who's a Australian martial arts practitioner, originally from Singapore? I believe it's Singapore. It's been a few weeks since we recorded. Great guy. Really had fun with that one. So check that out. It's here on YouTube or at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com or in your podcast feed. But we've had quite a few people on the show who first experienced martial arts because of the military. And if you follow the lineage of martial arts in this country, it exploded after martial artists went to serve overseas after World War II. It was because of post-World War II drama globally that we in the U.S. are a hotbed for martial arts. If it wasn't for that, we would not be nearly as prolific with martial arts in this country. So I'd like you to consider that. We as martial artists owe veterans for our martial arts too. Yeah. Remember, if you want to ask a question, drop it below. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we do a bunch of content, including this show. First Cup goes live every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. You can catch the audio later in your podcast feed. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. I'll answer it tomorrow. If you want to learn more about Training Day, search Whistlekick Free Training Day on Facebook, or if you go to whistlekick.com in the navigation, there is temporarily a link for Free Training Day. Sign up for the newsletter. We're almost finished with the Master Hopkick Chronicles, and then a bunch of stuff happens Master Hopkick from there. So, that's all I got for you. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.